But HDFC Bank is in focus this morning. A lot of updates coming in, and their quarterly updates is going to be one to focus on. The stock is stabilized now in the red, but not too bad, really. Harsh, what are the big takeaways from the HDFC numbers that they put out so far?
Well, Tamanna, first off, with regard to loan growth, you've seen sequentially loan growth going up by around 2%. Now, HDFC Bank this time around changing the way it's reporting some of those Q2 or quarterly numbers, and essentially what they're saying is that their average AUM or their average assets under management have grown by 1%. So they've started disclosing quarterly averages so as to not have any chunky amounts at the quarter end to impact those growth numbers. That's what they're essentially doing. Now, in terms of where we are on the deposit growth, because that's one number which everyone is looking at, 5% growth on the deposits front on a sequential basis, very, very strong. What this does to loan to deposit is brings it down from 104.5% at the end of Q1 FY25. Now loan to deposit is down to 100.7%. And that number will further come down if the loan to deposit differential in terms of growth, absolute growth, is over 2% or more. Very quickly, the loan to deposit ratio will come towards the 95%, maybe in 2 to 3 quarters. Maybe by the end of this year, you might see HDFC Bank's numbers, loan to deposit number, come to 95%, which is quite positive, which will allow the bank to start growing again at a rapid pace. Now, in terms of what within deposits is growing, well, CASA has done fairly well in this quarter, 2% uptick in terms of CASA, but average CASA balances have actually degrown by around 0.5%. Very high base of Q4 continuing to impact. Of course, Q1 was impacted, but Q2 as well on the average balances. But overall, on closing balances, they've done fairly well where HDFC is concerned. Time deposits or term deposits have grown by nearly 7% sequentially. So that's where a bulk of that deposit growth has come from. Last off, with regard to shareholding, they've also disclosed their shareholding pattern. The foreign headroom, or rather the availability of foreign headroom, was supposed to be 20%. It's currently at 25% as per the shareholding, which means that the MSCI rejig or the weight rejig will likely happen from 0.75 to 1% in November. And if that is to happen, likely $1.5 billion worth of money to flow into HDFC if that rejig were to happen.
All right. Thank you for that, Harsh. So HDFC Bank in focus, a whole host of, remember, you have had a whole host of updates coming in, and that becomes very, very important in a market's perspective. But